Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Dustin Kreis, and today we are going to do a game discussion, and we're going to talk about this one right here. Trails of Cold Steel, part of the Legend of Heroes series brought to us by Falcom and Xseed. And guys, I gotta tell you, if you like JRPGs and you do not have this in your collection, you just need to stop what you're doing, you need to go out and you need to get it. This is one of the best RPGs I have ever played. I absolutely loved every minute of the 77 hours that I put into this. Some people put a lot more. I think, was it Senkai that put 120 into it, or was it Greg? I can't remember, but somebody put 120 hours into this, and like, I don't know what they were doing because I did kind of everything in the storyline. I missed some of the secret missions and stuff, but it took me 77 hours, and I gotta tell you, for as long as of a game as this is, there is no filler in this thing. Like, it's a crazy. Even like the stupidest like side mission, the character interactions between your party just make it worthwhile to go through. It really is a testament to good RPG design, how much Falcom can make this Legend of Heroes series just really, really long, but at the same time, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It really is an amazing achievement. So yeah, anyway, this game takes place 2 years after Trails in the Sky, the entire story, which we haven't seen the end of quite yet. After that all ends. And it shifts from the Liberal Kingdom to the Erebonian Empire, which you kind of see a little bit of in Trails in the Sky. And while Trails in the Sky isn't required to play this game, I do think it's recommended because it does give you a nice shading. You already know a lot of the terms and a lot of the mechanics and a lot of like the lore of the series going into it. And so much so that going into this game, I mean, I just picked it up and just went. I was ready to go. I knew what I was doing. And yeah, really just an amazing time. But anyway, this moves the story to the Erebonian Empire, and you take over as the character Rain Schwarzer, who is a new student at the Thor's Military Academy. And a little history on Erebonia. It's a sort of a class system where there's a noble faction and a commoners faction. And these two powers within the Empire are kind of, there's a bit of a power struggle going on because the commoners want more, power, they want more influence in their day-to-day lives, and the nobles want to keep things the way they are. So there's this power struggle going on in the Empire. And that also plays into the Thor's Military Academy because there's 5 classes, 2 of which are made up of nobles and the other 3 are commoners. And this year at the Academy, there is another class that's been created called Class 7. Don't know what happened to Class 6. They kind of make a joke about it in the game. But they call it Class 7, and this is a class made up of commoners and nobles together to try to, ease the tensions, I guess. And this is the class you go into, and there are a lot of great characters that they pull into this as well. And of course, as the storyline goes on, the class gets pulled into this power struggle in the Empire. And if you know anything about the Legend of Heroes series, batshit crazy insane stuff happens, and by the end of the game, your jaw was on the floor. I did not see the ending coming, and I'm very happy that it didn't spoil myself, so don't spoil yourself. And when the ending started to unfold, I was just like, what the fuck? And then it starts to explain how it all happened, and you're like, oh, it works. It really works. So from a storyline standpoint, Cold Steel continues the amazing work that Falcom did with the Trails in the Sky series, because Trails in the Sky First Chapter has one of the best cliffhanger endings I have ever seen in a video game or a movie. You're just like, this can't be happening. I gotta play the next game right now to know what's going on. And of course, we had to wait years for second chapter to get translated. But luckily, Trails of Cold Steel 2 will be coming out in the fall. So I don't have to wait very long to see where this storyline goes, but I'm really excited. The main thrust of the storyline is excellent. The little character moments between the individual members of your party is astounding. Every character has depth to them and sort of a little secret story about themselves. And it's really fascinating to learn about these characters that make up your party. So from a storyline perspective, Trails of Cold Steel is just absolutely phenomenal. Gameplay-wise, this takes everything great about the Trails in the Sky battle system and just updates it for, you know, a more powerful system. I was astounded when I got into a battle, and it's like, oh my god, this is the exact same battle system from Trails in the Sky, just better. And I had a blast. I was able to go right into it. There's some new mechanics, like the linking system. You can link two characters together, and as you build up these linking bonds, characters can start doing more and more things together. Every now and then you'll exploit an enemy's weakness, and you'll kind of stagger the enemy for a second, which allows you to use your links. Starting off, you know, a character will just help you attack. You'll attack, and then they'll do a follow-up attack with you. As you build up your linking bonds through storyline events and playing the card game, which I'll talk about in a minute, you'll start to gain more levels, and there's 5 different levels of links you can have, and characters will start doing some more and more powerful stuff. And by the end of the game, the linking system is one of the most powerful things in the game. So definitely invest in the ability to the little character moments when the game gives you, you know, time to sort of tool around school with your bonding points. Make sure you spend them effectively on characters you really like using, because by the end of the game, that linking system is just, it's a little bit overpowered in a lot of ways, but it's really awesome. The other big thing is S-breaks. Basically, with an S-break, you can use your S-craft at any point in time. And that really helps sort of fix a problem a lot of people had with the battle system of the Trails in the Sky series, which was enemies are damage sponges. I mean, those enemies have HP just through the roof. And bosses like to call in little minions to help them as well. So if you're able to use your S-crafts at any point in the battle, it just helps you sort of maintain some kind of control of the battle, because I didn't die a lot in Cold Steel, but I did die a few times, a lot of times. It still has the thing where if you lose to a boss battle, you can weaken the enemies and retry it. So if you're really having trouble with a boss, you can just weaken the boss a little bit, retry it, beat it, and continue with the storyline. Which, I know there's going to be people out there like, oh my god, that's so stupid, because, you know, these games are supposed to be challenging. But at the same time, RPGs, you kind of play them for the storyline. And I really like this, because there was a couple bosses that I was just having a really hard time with. I didn't want to go back and grind a whole bunch, so I just weakened them and was able to, you know, keep my head above water and beat them. And then I moved on with the storyline, because that's really what I want to do. I'm not sitting there to be like a hard ass and, oh yeah, I'm going to beat this boss with next to nothing. So I really like that system, because it allows you to keep moving in the game. So I know some people probably have a problem with it, but I really actually like it. The other big thing is the Blade card game in here, and I sucked at it. I sucked at Blade. Horrible. But at the same time, I kept playing it because when you're on your train rides, going from the school to your field studies, which is, you know, basically where the events of the storyline happen, you're able to play cards with your party members. Blade could be a good distraction if you actually like the game. I didn't like the game, but I kept playing because you do get increases to your bonding points, or not your bond, your link points, to build up your links. So every time I got a chance to, I would do that to increase my experience levels and my links, because like I'm saying, they're very important to battle. And God, when you get to level 5, like link attacks, like when you get to do the there's an attack, there's rush, and then I can't remember what the last one's called right off my head, But when it's all 4 people attacking at once, it's super powerful. And that's how you rack up a lot of experience. Because every time you do something good in battle, like there's overkill, which is if an enemy has next to no HP and you do a really powerful attack against it, you'll get an overkill, which adds a zero point 0.1 modifier to your experience levels. So if you do really well in a battle and you use like that level 5 attack where all 4 people are attacking, and you have like 4 or 5 enemies out there, each one of the people's attacks hits those 5 enemies, right? So you'd get an overkill on all those enemies from 4 different people. So, you could rack up, experience because you're getting that 0.1 modifier. And by the end of it, you could have, 2.0 overkill. There's one point in time that I had like a 5.8 modifier on my experience points. And like the experience points just capped out at 9999, so... But I did gain quite a few levels doing that, so it was really nice. So it kind of keeps you from just attacking in battle. The whole experience system kind of keeps you trying new things out, figuring out how to get the biggest modifier you can to get the most experience points and get your characters really leveled up. If you do it right, you don't have to do a lot of grinding, which I do like about that. So if you do really kind of pay attention to the battle system, you won't have to do a bunch of grinding. If you just go through dungeons and just attack, then you're going to have to do a lot of grinding to raise your levels. But yeah, from a gameplay standpoint, really just a great a great way of doing the school system, because like Persona gets a little bit too involved in the social links for me, whereas with the bonding points you kind of hit them and forget them, whereas the social links I feel like take a really long time. And I understand that's a big part of Persona, but at the same time, I don't know, I think I just prefer the way Cold Steel does it to Persona. It really kind of keeps things moving, whereas sometimes I did feel a bit bogged down in Persona 3 and Persona 4. But yeah, really great system. If you like Trails in the Sky, you're just going to jump right into this and be off. You know what I mean? Graphically, this game is gorgeous. I know with the PS4 out, our ideas of what a gorgeous game looks like has kind of shifted. Everything PS4 and Xbox One. Everybody's like, the next generation is here, and some of these older games maybe don't look as good, but for my money, man, Trails of Cold Steel looks really, really awesome, and it's kind of nostalgic in a way because it's kind of like a prettier PS2 game or something. Really, really liked it. It really kind of gave me a nice nostalgic feeling playing the game. And some of the vistas you see, some of the places you go, are really impressive, and you're just like, wow, that looks actually really good. I played on the Vita. I'm sure it looked amazing on my big screen TV with the PS3 version, but I chose to go with the Vita version because I like playing these really long RPGs on a portable system. It's just easier that way for me. But I'm sure that it would have looked amazing on the big screen from the PS3. Audio-wise, the music, Falcom and JDK. That's all you got to say. That's one of those names that it's a lot like Uematsu. You just, when you hear the name Falcom JDK, the music is going to be phenomenal. It really is amazing how good these Falcom games are. And I know that like we're only now kind of realizing how good Falcom games are because Xseed's doing an amazing job of bringing these games out. But I really wish more people would pay attention to these Falcom games. I know it doesn't have like the pedigree of Final Fantasy or whatever behind it, but these Trails of games, I mean, they'll sneak up on you and then they'll just gut punch you, and you'll look at every other RPG differently after playing these. Audio wise, I already talked about the music. Voice acting, for the most part, the voice acting is amazing. I really enjoy it. It's that kiddie, high pitched, quote unquote anime voice, and Millium is the one that's really kind of grates on my nerves. I don't understand. I mean, I get it. It's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the genre. but at the same time, it's like, oh my god, does this person have to sound like a mouse squeaking? And it's not that bad, but like every RPG has the high-pitched, squeaky little girl voice, and it always just drives me nuts. So that's really the only complaint. Other than that, everything is very, very good voice acting, especially the main villain, C. I really loved his voice. It's very Darth Vader-esque in a way. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. What can I say about Trails of Cold Steel? Amazing RPG. Definitely, as it stands right now, my game of the year. I just, as much as I love Trails in the Sky, this just took everything that Trails in the Sky was and just up the ante. And I really have to give it to Falcom and Xseed, especially Xseed, for bringing it over here. These games are wordy, and it takes them a long time to translate these games. But really great stuff. If you guys do not have this and you're an RPG fan, get off your ass, go get it. I'm just sitting here just waiting for Trails of Cold Steel 2. And hopefully Xseed continues to bring over the Legend of Heroes series, because there's a lot of other games in the series that we haven't seen. I know they're getting ready to bring out the third sometime on PC only, which kind of sucks, but I guess I'll have to bite the bullet and try to play it on my laptop. I guess we'll see how that goes. But, yeah. Trails of Cold Steel. Definitely check it out. Well, anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.